Hey everybody, and welcome to Trivia Ronin. I'm your host, Matt McNally. Whether you're joining us live on Zoom or Twitch or after the fact on YouTube, welcome. We're happy to have you. Quick breakdown of the rules. One, we're honor code here, so you keep your own score. Feel free to cheat. You get nothing. If you don't want to keep your score, here's a little handy, helpful QR code that you can scan to play along on your phone, and then I keep your score. Either way, you get nothing, there aren't any prizes. And number two, after each question, you have 45 seconds to answer. Do not show your answer until the time is up. And if you're playing on Twitch, just answer with about 5 seconds left in the chat. That usually times out with us here at home. Either way, again, you know, we're playing for honor. You're all honorable humans. Tonight, there's 30 questions, 1 point each, with a few bonus point opportunities sprinkled in. There's a theme to the Wayla, you'll see. And there's a 10-point story question at the end for a total of 40 and change. Jimmy Polecat agreed. Go Bucks. The Pirates, they'll figure it out. Without further ado, however, let's play Trivia Ronin. Question number one. Kurt Russell's character in the Escape From franchise has what tattoo on his stomach? And I would like you to be specific, please. Trivia Rat commencing now. Well, I didn't clear your... Oh, well, that's fine. It's not going to matter. We'll see if it matters or not. Marissa, are you seeing your old answers? No. Yes? Oh, okay. Here, I can reboot it. New round. Start. Boom. Should be better now. New round. Kurt Russell's character in the Escape From franchises, i.e. Escape From New York and LA, respectively. He has a tattoo on his stomach of what? Please be specific, if possible. 2-1. Yep. Emily, sometimes, yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, everyone. Yeah, it is a snake. 1 point for snake, 2 points if you wrote cobra. It's a cobra, specifically. But 1 point for snake, of course. Snake is the answer. Question 2. Venice High School in California served as the primary location for the movie Grease. What was it called in that film? What's the high school in Greece? What do they call the high school in Greece? I'll give you part of the answer. High. The second word is high. That's what I do here. Help everybody out. QVC, I think you went a little more high concept. If his tattoo was an apple, I think that would suggest a little more artistry than I think was going on. But Venice High School in Venice, California, just down the street from my house. Also the setting for the Baby One More Time video. In case you're wondering, yes, Twitch knows it. Low High is funny and a great guess. The answer is Rydell High, they were called. Rydell High. Question 3. This man, under the appropriate pseudonym Peter Parker, served as the narrator of the Toxic Avenger 4. 45 seconds. He narrated the Trauma Classic Toxic Avenger 4 under a pseudonym of Peter Parker. Now, Peter Parker picked peppers and Run Rock Rhymes. No, that's not how it goes. Peter Piper is that one. Question 3. This man, under the appropriate pseudonym Peter Parker, served as the narrator of the Toxic Avenger 4. This one might need a 13-second hint. 13-second hint. He enjoys cameos. This guy loves a good cameo. Tobey Maguire's a good guess, but I think he would have been a not famous at the time of this movie. But if you wrote the inventor of Peter Parker, Stan Lee, then you are correct. Stanuel P. Lee. I know, Emily. F indeed. Question 4, 2-pointer. Sam Houston is the only person to ever be governor of 2 states. Name them both. 45 seconds. The great Sam Houston governed 2 states, only person in American history to govern 2 states. I think most of you will get one of them, but that's why it's a 2-pointer. You'll get one pretty easy. The other one, you'd have to read a book about Sam Houston. And who's got the time, honestly? What, like we were all at home during a pandemic to read books? Please. Please. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, everybody got Texas. And the other guess, QVC read a book about Sam Houston. The other one's Tennessee. The only person who governed 2 states that start with the letter T. He was the governor of Tennessee first. Question 5, and then they made Texas a state. Within 2, in what year did gas prices top $1 a gallon for the first time in America? So guess a year. If you are within 2 years, I'll give you the point. In either direction, we're not Price is Right here. Question 5, within 2. What year did gas prices top $1 a gallon on average nationwide for the first time in America? And they ain't going back. I'll tell you that much. Within 2. In what year did gas prices top $1 a gallon? Give you a hint. It seemed like a crisis. 2, 1. Give you another hint. 1979. So if you wrote, I think everybody got it, actually, in what I'm seeing, because 77 will count it and 81 will count it. 1979, everybody. Yeah, certainly is not going under $1 again. Question 6. What is the only U.S. capital to also host the Summer Olympics? 45 seconds. We should get this one. We is in the Trivia Ronin family. All my little babies should be able to get this one. What is the only U.S. capital to also host the Summer Olympiad? Only one did it. And what was it? Gotta know your U.S. capitals and gotta know your Olympics host cities. 2-1, show them. Of course it was the year 1996. Los Angeles, sadly not the capital of any state, although someday it will be. The answer was Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia is the capital of Georgia. Go figure. Question 7. Before they had the meats, this chain slogan was different is good. 45 seconds. Before they had the meats, this chain slogan was different is good. And somebody got paid thousands of dollars to come up with different is good. Hey guys, different is good. Money please. Before they had the meats, this chain slogan was different is good. Different is good. To be fair, at the time, they still had meat. 2-1, show 'em. Oh no. Oh no. Emily. Yes, Emily. Yes, QVC. No. Everybody else. Yes, Arby's. Have the meats now. Arby's, named after the 2 owners' first letter of their name, not the fact that they're a roast beef restaurant. Fun trivia. Question 8, on the Mohs scale, diamond measures 1,500, quartz 100, and talc only 1. What does the Mohs scale compare? 45 seconds. What does the Mohs scale compare? What's it measuring? Mohs scale. Mohs-Schrute scale. And unless somebody taught Mohs how to have sex, that baby is mine. On the Mohs scale, a diamond measures 1,500, quartz measures 100, talc only 1. What does the Mohs scale compare? And you can sort of write this can be like a small essay question answer if you need. 2-1, show them. Any answers? Yes, the hardness. Hardness is a great answer. Yep, everybody got it except me. I wrote mineral harness. But that's something else. But yes, indeed, you're correct. The answer is hardness. -5 points to the host. Question 9. If you wrote anything about hardness, you get the point. Which of the tennis Grand Slam events is still played on grass? 45 seconds. What's the grass one? Just had one recently. Novak Djokovic, big winner. Big winner. Uniqlo Zone, Novak Djokovic. Which of the tennis Grand Slam events is still played on grass? Can't imagine playing tennis on grass. Don't know if I ever will. I'm sure it'd be fun. It's probably interesting. QVC knows. Board Gamer 89, welcome. And you are correct. 2-1. Yep. Show 'em. Yes, of course. Wimbledon. Correct. And question 10, last of the round. Hello. Jimmy Hoffa is famously dead somewhere, but when he was alive, he headed what union? Famously dead, Jimmy Hoffa. Ever since he disappeared, he's been famously dead. Is he under the Meadowlands? Maybe. If you watched all of The Irishman, if you were one of those 2 people who watched all 4 hours, you'd know where he is. Jimmy Hoffa, famously dead somewhere, but when he was alive, he headed what union? Which one was he the head of? He was a union boss. Yeah, it takes 2 days. Yep, you are correct. Twitch has it. Yeah. It's a fun auto workers. Good guess. That is a big union, but it was the Teamsters or the Truck Drivers Union. If you wrote something about truck drivers or carrying things across things, I think. It's many things, but the Teamsters. He was a Teamster. That's round 1, everybody. Good work. Add up your scores. Do your thing. Do what you gotta do for the next 3 minutes. Don't get murdered and buried under a stadium. See you in 3 minutes, everybody. Bye-bye. Hope everybody's ready. Round 2 looks a little something like this. What company's slogan is when it rains, it pours? Although more appropriately, one might say when it snows, it pours on the road. 45 seconds. What company's longtime slogan is when it rains, it pours, the rat must begin? Oh, hang on. Let me do a new round. New round. All right. Now the rat must begin. 7 for Emily. Good stuff up there. What company's slogan is when it rains, it pours? Although more appropriately, one might say when it snows, it pours on the road. If you're from a snowy place, you'll get this. If you're not, you probably haven't seen this. Yes, indeed. Yay. Marissa's from Southern California. Still knew it. Morton Salt. Morton Salt, when it rains, it pours, everybody. Morton Salt. Good work, everybody. It is just Morton Salt, by the way, but I'm not going to be that person. Question 12. What orchestra instrument has the highest pitch? And I think everybody's going to think they're going to get this. And I have a hunch nobody's going to get this. Michelin, good guess, Emily. One of those. In a conventional Western orchestra, what instrument has the highest pitch? I believe it's a brass. Don't quote me. It's something I've heard of before I wrote the question. So there's that. What orchestra instrument has the highest pitch? Typically. Can hit the highest pitch, I suppose, is the best way to put that. Yep. Ooh, they knew it. Anybody else know it? Larry got it. The piccolo. Piccolo is correct. I was thinking that would be a flute trap, but I don't think anyone fell into my flute trap. Good work, team. Question 13. By design, what is the average IQ? 45 seconds. IQ tests are designed to have this as the average. And fancy psychologists every year go out there and adjust the IQ test to make sure that on average people get this number. By design. What is the average IQ of a human? Of all humans, what is the average? Trying to hit a number or go above it, I guess. 2-1. Anybody? Yeah, QVC knows. You guys are right. We're killing it. 100. IQ of 100. If you got that, you are exactly mediocre. Congratulations. On the TV show Perfect Strangers, elevator operator Harriet Winslow eventually got her own spin-off show titled what? Harriet Winslow, the sassy elevator operator at Balky's apartment in Perfect Strangers. Emily, so close. On the television program, Perfect Strangers, elevator operator. Eparator. Got it. Harriet Winslow eventually got her own spin-off program called what? What show? What's the name of that show? 2-1. It's a rare condition in this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page, as you know, because it's Family Matters, everybody. Did I do that? I did do that. I wrote that question. Question 15. 9 of the last 12 commissioned aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy have been named after what? 45 seconds. Oh, Emily, you're having internet problems? Boo. Uh-oh. Am I having internet problems? I hope not. Bless you all for putting up with it if I am. It seems okay on my end. Usually it tells me if I'm dropping frames, but okay. We're okay for now. Don't trust infrastructure, guys. Someone should do something about American infrastructure. Am I right? Question 15. 9 of the last 12 commissioned aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy have been named after what? Named after what? 9 of them. That makes sense, QVC. Unfortunately, internet problems have been making QVC's answers wrong. Yes, good guess. Correct guess. United States presidents. All right, QVC, your internet's back because you're getting the answers right again. This makes sense now. Question 16. 1958 was the year Mr. Clean had his first television commercial where we learn what is his occupation. Good work, Emily. It's not U.S. president. But I'd vote for him. Basically, you know, a vote for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a vote for Mr. Clean in a lot of ways. 1958 was the year Mr. Clean had his first television commercial in which we learn what's his day job. Give you a hint, it's tied to the last question. It is it's autocorrect in the Twitch feed. I know how that works. Turns Arby's into Wendy's. Brutal. 2-1. What's his occupation, guys? Any guesses? It's a tough one. Plumber's a real good guess. Genie is an excellent guess. I love everything about that. He's a sailor, apparently. predating the Village People by 20 years, and yet he sure could fit in. Question 17. Statler and Waldorf, perhaps America's most beloved hecklers, are both named after what type of buildings? 45 seconds. They're both hecklers and Muppets. I suppose I should buried the lead on this question. You know what they are, really? They're terrible! That's what they are. That's my specifically Statler impression. My Waldorf is this. There you go. See, because I'm at different sides. So that really sells it. Statler and Waldorf. Perhaps America's most beloved hecklers. We don't like a lot of hecklers here in America. They're named after what types of buildings? 2-1, show 'em. Who's got it? Emily knows. Yes, QVC, you are correct. QVC, I'll give you the point. One of them is actually not the original famous one's in Buffalo, New York, not New York City, but they're both named after hotels. The Statler Hotel, nicest hotel in Buffalo for a long time. Maybe still is. Who knows? Haven't been to Buffalo. Hear good things. Question 18. Tony Danza always plays a Tony. He's Tony Maselli on Who's the Boss. He's Tony Canetti on Hudson Street. And Tony Banta on what show? 45 seconds. Tony Danza. Perhaps writers were concerned he wouldn't respond to another name on set. Said, well, we can change his last name. Nobody ever calls him by that. Hey, Tony. He also plays Tony Danza on the Tony Danza Show. Tony Danza also in an Oscar-winning film for Best Picture. I'll tell you that in 3 minutes. Tony Banta. Tony Banta's in what show? It's also got DeVito. It's also got Christopher Lloyd. You talking to me? Yeah, I mean, good enough. You talking to me, QVC? You are. The show's called Taxi. The movie's called Taxi Driver. The movie Tony Danza was in is called Crash. And then Crazy Taxi is a game where you crash taxis. So, you know, we got it all. But, yeah, Tony Danza was in Crash, if you forgot that. Also, Crash won an Oscar, if you forgot that. Question 19. This movie was accidentally mistranslated for Hong Kong audiences into Cantonese as his powerful device makes him famous. 45 seconds. Rolls off the tongue. Emily, you're doing great. You got the last one. You got the last two. This movie, good movie, was accidentally mistranslated for Hong Kong audiences as his powerful device makes him famous. I love this question. Sometimes I like the questions. His powerful device makes him famous. It might be a mistranslation, but it certainly is a plot synopsis of this movie. 3, 2, 1. Anybody in Twitch? Anybody get it? Captain America, good guess. Iron Man, also great guess. It's funnier than that, though. It's Boogie Nights, guys. His powerful device makes him famous. Boogie Nights. Penis. It's a penis, is the joke. Boogie Nights. Don't worry about it. Nobody got it. I figured it wouldn't happen. Question 20. Fugu is a potentially lethal Japanese delicacy made from what fish? 45 seconds. Fugu. And if you've seen that prosthetic powerful device, you know. It's a powerful device. Question 20. Fugu is a potentially lethal Japanese delicacy made from what fish? 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, fugu. I don't know that they're blue. See, I didn't cancel Dr. Seuss. I'm here for it. 2, 1. Any guesses? I only want to be with you. All of you. It's pufferfish or blowfish. We'll give it to you. And that was a Hootie and the Blowfish reference. And that is 2 rounds, everybody. Take your 3 minutes. Take your time. Figure out your scores. Do all that good stuff. I'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll be back with pictures. Bye-bye. Disney princesses. Things you can stick up your ass that are nutritious. And Black history.
Hey there, and welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
And welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
I'm your host, Douglas Larlam, and I'm not wearing pants.
As of August 2019, what is the top grossing film to hold an MPAA rating of G?
It's gonna be a nice, quiet, intimate show.
She murders deaf children right after they get cochlear implants.
Don't ever forget I can kill people I think about.
We make up for it by being less creepy than Drew Carey.
Shit's going down on Twitch.
It's like 4 dementia movies. I wanted to watch them, but I forgot. Remember movies in theaters when they made money? That was the thing.
I'll make love to you.
Am I supposed to wait?
Saturday night and you're on Twitch during a pandemic. If you're not drinking, you're doing it wrong.
It's a cat toy on a reusable straw.
Fuck with that algorithm.
This is Doug's tie, by the way.
You almost don't need a gunshot to die.
Doug, you think we'll get a lawsuit out of this one?
I don't care.
Don't fuck this up, McNelly.
If you guys were just fucking dumb, I'd be better at this as a host.
It was Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4. That came out in 2019. When was that? Story time. It's not story time. It's Wayla time. There is a theme to this Wayla. If you get it, put it in the chat. If you figure it out at any point, we have fun. You get 1 bonus point for it. Zoom folks, you can say it or you can yell it in the other room because there's only 1 team on Zoom and they're in my living room. Game on. First question. Who's this guy? 45 seconds. Who's this gentleman? This well-read gentleman. You can open the door. I'm trying to see if our cat can open the door. I think she can. Come on, Uma. Yeah, good job. You got it. 36 seconds. Can the cat open the door in 36 seconds? Let's find out. Come here. There it is. She needed a little help, guys. Cats can't do everything. Cats can't do everything. 15 seconds left. Who's this guy? Well done, James. I always like when Jimmy Polecat throws the fake answers in. Just trying to throw the Twitchers off. Because it's not Walter Disney. But it is. The buck is stopping right in front of QVC. You are correct. It is Harold S. Truman. Harry. The S, I believe, stands for S. Truman. Harry Truman. Next question. Yeah. Oh, Darcy's here. Hooray. Question 2. Darcy just moving our friends. What flag is this? Darcy's a mensch. James, you are correct. Doesn't make it any less of a trivia question. Most trivia questions are about old white men. What country's flag is this? If you can read the timer, good for you. 30 seconds left. What nation's flag are we looking at currently? We've done this before. This is a Ronin repeat. Hashtag Ronin repeat. 2-1, show 'em. Good guess, QVC. But again, something happened with the chat, and you got the answer wrong. The correct answer is South Korea. Southern Korea, the sovereign nation, not the Democratic Republic. Or not the People's Democratic Republic, but just the Democratic Republic. What band is this? 45 seconds. You member. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it lately. Emily, I'll give you a half point for Korea. But you know what you were doing. You were hedging your bets. You were doing a little bet hedge. Oh, which one has the yin yang, and then which one has the star and the bars? Star and the bars is north. 20 seconds left. What sovereign band is this? Man. This band was the biggest band in the world for like a solid 2 months. And Emily, if I hadn't shown a photo and you just guessed, you would have been correct. However, Hootie and the Blowfish, you'd probably have Darius Rucker in the front. In this one, you have Mark McGrath in the front. And this band is Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray. Question 4. What building is this? Famously with a Christmas display. It doesn't look like this right now because it is currently June. But what building are you looking at? Cat's gonna try to come back shortly, I'm sure. Board Gamer, you're doing great. It's an honor system. I'm sure you got all 40 of them while you were gone. This is the connected round, guys. There is a theme. Thank you for asking. There is a theme to this round. If you pick it up, if you figure it out, just put it in the chat. So far, we've had Harry S. Truman. We've had South Korea. We've had Sugar Ray. We've had this one, Show 'em, which is, of course, Rockefeller Center. Board Gamer pops in and has it. I'm not going to tell Zoom, but Twitch, we have figured it out. Good job. But you'll definitely get this one. This is the logo for a now defunct baseball team. What baseball team is that, please? City and mascot. Franchise not defunct. The franchise continues to play baseball games, but they don't play in the place where it was. Board Gamer, big ups for getting it. Congratulations. I was saving this one for a rainy day, and you nailed it. Nailed it by the 4th question. 2 points for Board Gamer. Obviously, I'll tell the Zoom people when, but I'll just let them figure it out. 10 seconds left. What baseball team? Yeah, right. I'm having trouble not doing that. 2-1, show 'em. Yes, indeed. Ooh, Boston Braves. Good guess, QVC, but it is unfortunately the Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't actually know the Boston Braves logo. Maybe it's similar, but it certainly wouldn't be blue and white, probably. It would have blue and white in it. Guys, remember this? Wasn't that long ago. There was a bit of a crisis in what canal? Name the canal that we're looking at right here. I'm really proud of how I phrased that question. Everyone on Twitch will be proud of how I phrased that question. Zoom's still not onto it. Bit of a crisis. 23 seconds. Big old boat blocking a canal. And the best part is that was like maybe the 7th worst thing to happen this year. Somewhere in the top 10. Still waiting on a few Amazon packages. 2-1, show 'em. Yes, indeed, QVC. You are right. Yes, 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 it is, of course, the Suez Canal. Suez Canal. This is a famous automotive flop. What's the name of the model? This is a historically famous automotive flop. This car sold very badly. But if you have one now, it's worth tens upon hundreds of thousands of dollars. I kind of want to get one. I'll give you the make. Make is Ford. It's a Ford car. They also were non-convertible. This is a convertible model. 2-1. Wasn't Henry Ford didn't make it, but his son did. His son was named Edsel Ford, and this is the Edsel, everybody. This is the Edsel, the Ford flop. Might as well call it that. Shout out to the home team. What film is this from? This terrifying screenshot. Look at his eyes. Shout out to the home team. We should all have a screening of it at some point, guys. Probably. The next time I have a spare 4 hours, we're gonna watch this thing. It's from a movie. Board Gamer, I don't think you've played with us on Zoom, so you may not know our Zoom team names here at Trivia Ronin, but this is an homage to the team in my living room currently. You can at some point if you ever want to. It's at triviaronin.com. You can just click on a Zoom link if you ever want to see our smiling faces. Yes, indeed, QVC got it. I'm sure we got it here at Ronin HQ. Lawrence of Arabia, or as they're known, Lawrence of Alabia, everybody. Speaking of labias, this is a photo of, I don't know, I guess you'd call it some kind of medicine that does what? Iconically, if you have one of these pills are doing something for you. Labia, yeah. Board Gamer, we're not that witty around here. As you know, you've played with us enough. If you have a clamshell with pills in it that look like this, with dates and stuff. Emily, you are correct. You don't even need Dean to tell any one of us that. We gotta watch it. Is there no... I would imagine there aren't any. That's a fun trivia fact, QVC. I might just ask that next week. 2-1, show 'em. Yeah. Everybody knows it, right? Yep. These are, of course, some call it the pill, but they're birth control pills. Birth control. And last but not least, this is from a television program. What television show are these beautiful people the hosts of? The hint is at the bottom. That'll help. Larry, have you gotten it yet? Have you guys figured out the secret? HMS Pinafore would be a true daily double, QVC. That's a good, absolutely. You're more than welcome to. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Do you have it? Do you have it? Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not guts, it's Wheel of Fortune. Everybody, you knew that. Wheel of Fortune. And just because Larry's having a tough time, shout out to Board Gamer who figured out those are all things mentioned in the Billy Joel classic We Didn't Start the Fire. Every single one of those things, including Crisis in the Suez. Crisis in the Suez. Brooklyn has a winning team. That's the Brooklyn Dodgers reference. So there you go. There you go, guys. Sugar Ray Leonard, of course. But we did Sugar Ray. You used that song for history trivia. Board Gamer, you're doing it great. So anyway, everything on there was at some point North Korea, South Korea. The only one I didn't do was Marilyn Monroe. I feel like we would have gotten it too quick. If we went South Korea, Marilyn Monroe, everyone would have gotten it. So guys, 3 rounds down. Tally up your scores. We're going to come back and we'll actually tell a story. Doug. We'll see when he watches this on YouTube. He's not going to watch it on YouTube. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Bye. So we're going to talk about it. We're going straight into it. We're going to talk true crime. People dig true crime, right? We're going to talk about a guy named Gary Gilmore. You know who Gary Gilmore is? Props to you. He's kind of a scumbag. I'm going to be honest with you. Gary Gilmore was a bit of a scumbag. He was born in Texas, early, probably 30s, I would say. 30s, 40s, born in Texas. moved a lot. His dad was a total piece of shit. He would sell magazine subscriptions to people that were fake, because you could get away with that back then. So he would just sell people magazine subscriptions, and then once he sold them to a whole town, he would just leave town. They'd never get their magazines. He'd take all the money. So he had this whole scheme going on from Texas. He went all the way through Utah, all the way up, ended up in Portland, Oregon. By the time our protagonist, we'll say, but the guy we're talking about, by the time Gary was 13, he ends up in Portland. And he starts gets into a life of crime real quick. He starts a car thieving, like a car stealing ring, I guess you would call it. A car theft ring. He had a gang of dudes and him were stealing cars at the age of 14. He gets caught. The first time he gets caught, the cops are like, hey, Gary, don't be doing that. Give him back to his dad. Keep singing, Board Gamer. We didn't start the fire, of course. Gary Gilmore nodded, and we didn't start the fire, by the way. Gary Gilmore gets let back to his dad. A year later, he gets arrested again. They put him into a juvie or a reform school. He gets out in a year. He gets arrested again. A few months later, they put him into grown-up jail. He's in jail. He gets arrested again. This kid is just in jail for most of the early 60s. At one point in the 60s, he's in jail. His father passes away, who he never really liked, but his dad dies. He gets upset while he's in prison. He tries to kill himself. He's so despondent, but he doesn't get away with it. Anyway, eventually he's been in and out of prison until 1974, when they let him out on parole and they say, Gary, you got to go stay with a relative. They send him to Utah. They're like, get out of Oregon. They send him to Utah to live with this distant cousin in the town of Provo, Utah. And so he moves in with his cousin. He's living there for a while. Still committing some acts of scumbaggery, but on July 19th, 1976, let's get to the good stuff. That's the day Gary becomes a murderer. He goes to a gas station in Orem, Utah, because every Utah town has a weird name. He robs the gas station. The gas station attendant ends up getting shot and killed, a man named Max Jensen. The following night, he goes out, he robs a motel. He talks to the motel manager. A man in motels in Provo, a man named Benny Bushnell. He shoots and kills Benny as well. Both of these gentlemen complied with every single one of Gary's commands. You know, empty the register, do this, don't look at me, put your hands behind your back, lay on the ground. And then once they were on the ground face down, he shot him in the back of the head. Both of these men killed. They were students at BYU. They had small children and wives at home, because every student at BYU has a small child and wife at home. But also he murdered these young fathers. Total piece of shit. On the night of the second murder, Gary's trying to hide his gun, and he ends up shooting himself in the hand. Because, of course he does. Still tries to get away with it. Bandages up his hand real quick, and then his car, on the night he commits this hotel murder, or the motel murder, his car was in the shop. So he has to go to this mechanic. But on the way to the mechanic, he's walking by, and he's bleeding out of his hand, and he throws something into the bushes that the mechanic sees as a gun. And then turns around and is like, hey man, is my car done? And the mechanic, being a quick thinker, is like, sure, dude. I have your registration. I have all your info. He calls the cops immediately as Gary comes out. The cops catch him just down the block, take him to prison, charge him with a double homicide. He ends up only going to trial for one of the homicides because the motel one had more witnesses. So they put him on trial in basically 76, October 76. He's obviously the guy. His court-appointed attorneys don't even call their own witnesses. They don't cross-examine any of the prosecution's witnesses. The prosecution are like, we have the blood on the ground, we have the gun that belongs to him, we have this witness seeing him get rid of the gun, we have these witnesses seeing him shoot the guy. He's done. The jury deliberates for a half a day. They convict him of murder, and then they also give him the death penalty. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, Gary gets the death penalty. Now, prior to 1976, on the books, the death penalty was actually unconstitutional for about a 10-year period in United States history. There was a case that came up that, I don't know the name of the first case, but it was ruled cruel and unusual punishment for a long time, until a case called Gregg v. Georgia, where it went back in front of the Supreme Court. And at that point, the Supreme Court ruled that states can do whatever they want. If they want to execute somebody, they're allowed to do that. So, Gary gets put on death row. He's the first person to go on a death row in over 10 years. They ask him, how do you want to do it? At that point in Utah, you had two options. You could be hung in 1976, or you could have a firing squad. Gary says, I'm a little concerned something will go wrong with the hanging, so just shoot me. And he goes, it's fine. I'll take a firing squad. Let's do this. They say, do you want to appeal? He says no. His mom tries to appeal for him. That case goes to the Supreme Court very quickly. The Supreme Court says, we're not going to hear this mother's appeal. The defendant waived his rights of habeas corpus to appeal this case. Therefore, he is guilty. Nobody else can appeal for him. He still gets a stay of execution through the ACLU. When he gets that stay of execution, he's supposed to be executed in November. Gets a stay of execution through the ACLU. Gary tries to kill himself the day after. Because he's like, I just, no. Do not give me a stay of execution. He goes in front of a governor parole, not even a parole board, but like a governor's pardon board, which is a chance for him to be like, this is why I deserve a pardon. And he goes, I don't, but I don't want anyone appealing this case anymore. I just want to be put to death. So, this is a big deal. In December of that year, on the show, the long-running NBC show, perhaps you've heard of it, Saturday Night Live, Candace Bergen of Murphy Brown fame is the host. They do a parody sketch where they sing Walking in a Winter Wonderland about executing Gary Gilmore. And they talk about putting him in a snowman and freezing him to death and various other ways. This is like national news. Eric Idle goes on SNL and does a whole bit about him being executed. It's like the talk of all the talk shows and stuff is murdering this guy. And everybody's having a good laugh about it because the death penalty's back. January 17th, 1977. Finally, Gary gets his wish. He stands in front of a wall of sandbags. 5 police officers are behind a velvet curtain with small holes cut into it. 4 of them have bullets. 1 has a blank, they say, although they found 5 bullet holes in his shirt, so they think they just told the police officers that to feel better. And he delivers his last words, and then he is executed. He dies. Gary's dead. Now, this is a national case. Many people are watching this, including one man named Dan Weiden, W-E-I-D-E-N. He hears Gary's last words or reads them in the paper. They didn't televise this. We're not total monsters, but he reads about Gary's last words in the paper, and they sit in his head for about 10 years. And then he ends up being an ad man for many years and running an advertising agency. And in 1988, 10 years later, a big client comes in. It's a sporting goods company, and they're looking for a rebrand. They want something simple, but something iconic. And Dan, in the meeting, thinks back on the last words of this serial killer, Gary Gilman, this man who killed 2 people. And he says, that's pretty good. I've got the perfect thing. So he doesn't tell him it's from that, but he paraphrases the last words of this murderer and sells it to the sporting goods company in 1988. My question to you with 45 seconds is, what is that phrase? Not Gary Gilman's exact last words, but what is the phrase that it was adapted to? You know it. You know it, I promise. If you think you've had a bad idea in a business meeting, this story is here to tell you all ideas are good ideas, and you don't have to tell anyone where they come from. And you don't need to give credit to murderers if you don't want to. Gary Gilman. Big piece of shit. 8 seconds left. Twitch, any guesses on this one? I'm sure we'll get it. 2-1, show them everybody. Yes, QVC. Yes, indeed, with the swoosh. Which means our big Zoom winner is Larry. Of course, Gary Gilman's last words, let's do it. I say, do you have any last words? He just says, let's do it, and then gets shot. And, of course, the phrase is, just do it, is what it was turned into. I'm loving it. That's 10 extra points to Jimmy Polecat for that one. So, guys, that's the end of it. Yeah, just do it, everybody. That's going to do it for this evening. For all of us here at Trivia Ronin, thank you so much for your support. We're continuing to do this thing. Keep on seeing us on Zoom, Twitch, YouTube, whatever you want to do. Come hang out every Wednesday. We love you. My name's Matt McNally saying don't be shitty. Don't murder people. But if you do, come up with something iconic on your way out. I'm hoping you learned something tonight. Bye-bye. We'll see you guys. Adios.